Greetings everybody, Medicropper here. I need to make a quick video to clarify some things that I discussed in my last video. And I feel time is of the essence to make this video. So it's not going to be the highest quality, and I'm going to try and speak as loud as possible without distracting anyone around me. But I need to get this information out as soon as possible rather than waiting for the right time and place to make the video and prolonging it. Right now I'm in the Star Alliance Lounge at LAX. Just have a quick look around. Getting ready to board a flight to Europe. This is like the first class lounge where you get to get all the food and drinks you want for free. And I kind of found a quiet area where I can just make this quick video. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I need to talk to you about Cropsalt and the things I said in my video that I posted yesterday. First of all, I haven't had time to go back and watch that video to see exactly what I said. But I know I discussed Cropsalt and the recommended dosage and deficient plants. So I'm just going to clear the water here and tell you exactly what went down. So the last few months have been a total blur for me, and I actually was messaging Cropsalt on Instagram, and the guy that runs the account told me what ratios I should run of A and B. And it was veg 4.6 of veg A and 3.1 of veg B. For bloom, he said 5.1 and 2.6. Now, I don't have a picture of the package of the bloom, but I have a picture of the package of the veg, so I was able to write down some other numbers here. So in the private messages, he said to run 4.6 of veg A, 3.1 of veg B. And that's what I started doing. Before I went back up to Washington, like maybe 2 feedings before I went back up to Washington, I had forgot that that's what he recommended, and for some reason I thought that I was supposed to be running what looks like the package recommends, which is 3.07 and 2.07. I totally spaced that I was previously running what he was telling me rather than what the package tells me. And the package doesn't actually tell you to run that. It just has 5 different amounts to run, and then this middle one's kind of highlighted, like maybe that's just like the base. And according to Cropsalt, that's like what you want to give plants that are in soil. Okay? But he very specifically told me to run at this ratio and this ratio. So before the 2 waterings I did before I went back up to Washington, I did it at this ratio, and it only came out to like 0.7 EC. So I don't know if I even discussed this in a video. I added extra of each one in a 2-to-1 ratio until the EC got much higher, and it seemed like I was adding quite a bit more, because I was thinking like, well, I thought the last couple waterings I did, because I was new to trying this out, I thought I was doing the recommended amount, and it's coming out to like higher than that, a higher EC, but then all of a sudden I'm getting the super low EC. But I totally forgot that I had been using this the first few waterings. So I defaulted back to this recommended dosage rather than what he recommended me do. And then my guy that was down there, I told him do the recommended dosage, because that's what we've been doing, when really that's not what we had been doing. We had been doing what was recommended in the DMs rather than what was highlighted on the package. I also need to clarify, this isn't necessarily what's recommended on the package, it's just the middle one that's kind of highlighted, okay? So my guy had been feeding at 3.07 and 2.07, and things were yellowing out. I said, well, bump it up one. So he bumped it up to 3.83 and 2.58, okay? And then when I returned, things were super deficient. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I thought, oh, Cropsalt must be doing the same thing, saying, oh, you only need this much, when really you need double. In this case, it's not double, but really you need a lot more, just like I discussed in that video. When in actuality, I was specifically recommended this amount. I just totally, I forgot that I'd even messaged with him and that he even recommended what to do. Like, I've been getting so many DMs and so busy with the grow, like totally spaced. When it comes to bloom, I don't have the other numbers, but this number 5.1 and 2.6 that he recommended in the DMs is actually 2 notches above the one that was highlighted, just like 4.6 is 2 notches higher than the one that was highlighted on the veg. So my guy down there was not giving this. He was giving one. He wasn't giving the recommended. He was actually doing the one in between. So that's why they're just a little bit deficient. Okay. Now, if he would have been giving this, I think those plants in room 3 that were, some were deficient, some were good, they probably all would have been just fine on 5.1 and 2.6. So it wasn't Cropsalt that was recommending a low dosage, trying to skew numbers when people are trying to calculate how much they need to spend on their nutrients. It was me totally spacing out and forgetting that I was actually recommended these in the DMs. And somehow I just like correlated that after I'd watered a few times to, the one that was highlighted on the package was the one that I was supposed to be doing. So I think this is going to clear some things. This 4.6 and 3.1, when we were vegging room 3, they were beautiful. And then, once they went into flower, they started getting a little deficient once we switched to bloom and actually went down one step. And mind you, the first 3 weeks of bloom, you actually use the veg nutrients. So that's why they stayed nice and healthy until, like maybe a couple weeks ago, they started to look yellow because we had switched to bloom and we weren't doing the 5.1, 2.6. We were doing the one step down. So I just want to clear the air there. And once again, this video is probably boring because you're looking at a white piece of paper on a white table, but I wanted to get this out there and upload it before I got in that plane and more people watched the video and saw that Cropsalt was like, pulling a fast one and recommending much lower than what you actually need. So I hope that clears the air for everyone. All right, peace.